It's time for Alamogordo Town News on Crazy Radio. I'm Anthony Lucero. When it comes to news on 95.1 FM, weather always comes first. The pattern over much of the continental U.S. should remain fairly tranquil over the next few days. Across the central and eastern U.S., well above average temperatures in the 70s and 80s will continue through midweek, and that could topple a handful of daily high temperature records. Close to home, warm and dry conditions persist with light breezes every day. A cool front's going to push in on Friday, bringing a few degree drop in temperatures, but temperatures are going to remain 5 to 10 degrees above average until then. We'll have another look at the weather following this news. There's a standard among New Mexicans. We're there to help each other. It's a beautiful thing and something that's just a distant memory in many parts of the U.S. But here, if there's a problem, we want to see it solved. We want to help our neighbors, whether that's helping someone with a flat tire, supporting those fighting a forest fire, or those impacted by disaster. Mountain View Church here in Alamogordo is working to help those in Roswell following the horrifying flooding which took place. I spoke with Pastor Anthony Torres, and he says they need some more monetary donations.
So if somebody wants to help us with supplies or food, they can go to www.mbcalamo.com and find our give button. And if they can kindly put it under outreach, so that way we know what is designated for.
Remember, folks, every dollar helps. Last night, there was an Alamogordo special school board meeting to discuss legal counsel and advise regarding status of the superintendent investigation and next steps. The status of the superintendent's administrative leave and the superintendent's contract, which is scheduled to expire on December 31st, including whether or not to extend. They also discussed the acting superintendent's contract, and this was all in a closed session, but afterwards the meeting moved public.
I would like to call for a motion to issue Superintendent Renteria the results of the investigation, including the board's findings and conclusion as discussed in executive session.
Thank you. Let the record reflect the board has voted aye.
I'd like to call for a motion to authorize legal counsel to make reports to outside agencies as appropriate.
Thank you. Let the record reflect the board has voted aye.
And I would like to say I do not think it's in the best interest of the districts to offer Superintendent Renteria another contract. Therefore, I would like to call for a motion to allow Superintendent Renteria's contract to expire on December 31st, 2024, and not offer her another contract.
I think that this is the right course of action.
Thank you. Let the record reflect the board has voted aye.
Next steps regarding Superintendent Renteria's administrative leave with pay. I don't think it's in the district's best interest to bring Mrs. Renteria back pending the expiration of her contract, given the decision not to offer her another contract. Therefore, I would like to call for a motion to keep Superintendent Renteria on leave with pay pending the expiration of her contract.
Thank you. Let the record reflect the board has voted aye.
The acting superintendent contract is in effect through December 31st, 2024. I'd like to say that we're very happy with Mr. Crabtree's performance. We need time to do research for a search process.
I'm in agreement. I'm in agreement with doing the search.
What did you say?
But I would like to say I'm very happy with Mr. Crabtree and his performance thus far. I think he's made a great acting superintendent and has really taken this job on.
Absolutely.
I'm very pleased and happy as well. I think he's addressed a lot of the problems that weren't in the past.
Okay, so we will come back to discuss next steps, including naming an acting superintendent
before the end of the contract.
Before the end of the
interim.
December 31st. But we're going to not make a decision on this right at this moment. So anybody else have any?
And that would be interim superintendent. So acting runs through December 31st.
Right. Correct.
You would need to come back before December 31st to discuss an interim if a search is going to go past December 31st.
Right.
Yeah. So those would be our next steps. And, you know, I think we can all agree that we're very happy with Mr. Crabtree's performance, and
Yes.
we thank him for all the hard work and dedication that he's put into this district, and we look forward to continuing. So we don't need to make a motion on that, or do we?
You could table it, or you could just put it back on the next agenda.
Okay, so we will bring this up.
You can see this meeting in its entirety on the Alamogordo Public Schools School Board YouTube channel. A story we've covered multiple times over the last few months looks to be concluding soon. After 5 months of no hot water, no heat, and no gas, well, that's about to change for both Amber Skies and Desert Palms mobile home parks here at Alamogordo. In June, a resident reported the smell of a natural gas odor. Technicians responded and identified above-ground leaks at multiple locations. So as required by law, flowing gas was stopped through the master meter, which serves the entire community. The mobile home court management was alerted of the need to repair before gas service could be restored. Resident Alice Evans spoke with KOB.
I had to buy a little hot plate to cook on. I've had to heat my water in a little pitcher, little electric teapot that I have. I have cold shower.
A statement from the owner says they've been making attempts at repairs, but the issues have not been resolved. The owner of Desert Palms is out of California and doesn't want to speak to the media, so we got to take them at their word. Resident Carolyn Ross called the New Mexico State Regulation and Licensing Department.
I got a fancy letter with the governor's letterhead listing all the code violations. They gave me the code violation determination. It's all fancy and legal and looks good, and then told me to go hire a lawyer. They're not going to enforce it. They're not going to help me. All the people on this code violation determination walked away scot-free to do this to the next innocent victim.
However, the state's Manufactured Housing Division dropped Ross's case for, you ready for this? Lack of jurisdiction. Shara Atkinson, also a resident, spoke with KALH about the progress of the work.
They are starting the second phase of it. They're running they're ramming the pipes underground. Should have been started today. We didn't see anybody today, so I'm assuming tomorrow. That's about all we know. He's not coming through with a lot of information.
The White Sands mobile home community has also been impacted by a gas leak. Local author Dr. Becca Michael and her friend Taco the Chicken have a new book coming out in a couple of weeks.
We're going to have the book signing, not this Saturday, but next Saturday.
November 2nd at the Toy Train Depot. Well, today is Tuesday. It's time for an introspection with our good friend, Pastor Johnny Walker.
This is Johnny Walker with this week's introspection. You deserve better. When we enter a grocery store, we instinctively choose the freshest products, avoiding those tainted by mold, those with fuzzy spores. We seek the best value for the price we pay. But why then do we settle for less in our friendships, our relationships, and our leadership? Why do we allow ourselves to be hurt by those we've poured our heart into? It's time to realize we can't afford to pay full price for relationships that devalue us. We cannot continue giving our all to individuals who only bring us pain. We must hold others accountable for their actions and responsibilities, just as we hold the grocer accountable for quality of their products. Some might argue that releasing others from accountability is a noble act of forgiveness or compassion, but in reality, it only lowers our own value in their eyes. By accepting less than we deserve, we are allowing a cycle of degradation to persist. It's time to reevaluate. If we expect the grocer to provide us with quality products, we must hold others to the same standard. We must teach our children not to settle for less, but to stand tall in who they are. We must break free from the chains of generational depreciation and instill in our loved ones the knowledge that they deserve better. Don't dilute your worth or water down your potential. You are deserving of love, respect, and genuine connections. Surround yourself with people who uplift you, who believe in your worth, and who treat you with kindness and compassion. Say no to toxic relationships and choose to invest your time and energy into those who truly value you. In the journey in finding fulfillment and happiness, it is crucial to remember that you hold the power to choose the relationships and friendships that nourish your soul. Just as you would choose the freshest loaf of bread from the grocer, so I implore you, strive for the best value for the price you pay in every aspect of your life. This is Johnny Walker with this week's introspection. You be blessed, be a blessing, and we'll see you next week Right here, same place, same time on Crazy Radio.
News from around the state in just a moment. This is Alamogordo Town News on Crazy Radio. I'm Anthony Lucero.
Local news from local perspectives, from local voices. AlamogordoTownNews.org. Local sports, local events, and local happenings and more. Nonprofit owned and operated by Second Life Media. We are Otero County. AlamogordoTownNews.org. Heard daily on Crazy KALH Radio 95.1.
Directory Plus is the right size book. It's the book if you need a phone book.
That's what just one person has to say about Directory Plus. With its red cover, features, colorful yellow pages, and lots more, it's no wonder people all over use Directory Plus.
It has so much more information. You can cross-check phone numbers or addresses or pretty much anything.
Look on the plus side, Directory Plus.
I'm a big fan of Directory Plus.
Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham has declared a state of emergency for Chaves County following the intense flooding that struck the county on Saturday, leaving residents trapped or stuck.
There were rapids going down that river and right down the road. And when you turned around and looked, there was more and more.
Roswell Mayor Tim Jennings speaking with KRQE.
We've lost 3 fire trucks. And how did we lose them? It was because of flooding. And we had people all over town that were on the tops of cars.
The New Mexico National Guard deployed help to the area, announcing they have rescued 309 people. They also stated that 38 of those were hospitalized. 2 deaths have been reported. The Alamogordo and Las Cruces fire departments are among area cities who sent specialized teams to assist with the flooding response.
As the National Guard, we have rescued a number of people that were trapped inside their homes, and then just awaiting additional guidance from the city officials on what they're needing from us.
Lieutenant Commander Paul Lauritsen with the New Mexico National Guard. Officials have closed all city facilities. A shelter has been established at the Eastern New Mexico State Fairgrounds. This is the largest rainfall to have fallen in the Roswell area in a single storm in 123 years. New Mexico Gas Company provided incorrect information in home energy reports sent to 160,000 New Mexicans. They're working with a third party that produces the reports to inform customers who receive the reports incorrectly and provide them with corrected data. The mistake occurred only on home energy reports, which are separate from the billing process. The reports contained a graph that incorrectly compared customer use with that of other homes in the area, making it appear that customers might be using much more gas than other similar-sized residences. New Mexico Gas Company said a correction letter is going to be sent sometime later this month. I like how this shows that you're using more than your neighbors, which would make it so easy to jack up that bill and nobody would probably ever notice. I'm just saying. Of course, a utility company would never knowingly do anything like that, would they? Common Cause New Mexico is the state's largest nonpartisan democracy advocacy organization that focuses on voting rights work, election protection work, government accountability, and transparency. The organization also works closely with the ACLU. Molly Swank, the executive director of Common Cause New Mexico, appeared on KRWG and shared details on the election protection program.
Our biggest goal with election protection is making sure that anybody who wants to vote during this election season is able to without barriers or issues.
If you have any questions or concerns, 866-687-8683. Sports and weather coming up next. This is Alamogordo Town News on Crazy Radio. I'm Anthony Lucero.
They are role models and educators. Their work requires a great deal of time and energy for very little pay. Who are these unsung heroes?
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Coach. The simple truth about education-based athletics in New Mexico is this. Without a committed team of coaches and administrators, they just wouldn't be possible. School sports, they bring out the best in all of us. This message presented by the New Mexico Activities Association and the New Mexico Athletic Directors Association.
There are 56 matches for New Mexico volleyball today, including Jal at Hagerman, Hondo at Corona Vaughn, Cloudcroft at Mescalero, Chaparral at Deming. Tularosa heads to Ruidoso. Wow. Go, Lady Cats. Alamogordo heads to Gadsden. Go, Lady Tigers. Yay! Your Crazy Radio spot-on weather forecast for the Tularosa Basin today calls for sunny skies. Mostly clear tonight, sunny tomorrow. Your high today in the basin, 81. Low tonight of 57. High tomorrow, 83 degrees. In Cloudcroft, sunny skies today, mostly clear tonight, sunny tomorrow. Your high today in Cloudcroft, 62. Low tonight of 41. High tomorrow, 65 degrees. Local breaking news can be found on our website, alamogordotownnews.org, and learn more about Crazy Radio by visiting kalhradio.org. Also, check out the Crazy KALH Radio YouTube channel. That's where we post our daily newscasts, complete interviews, and other information which concerns everyone in the Tularosa Basin. Be sure to give this video a like and subscribe to our channel if you've not done so already. That way you too can remain informed of the goings-on in the Tularosa Basin. Well, that concludes this Tuesday edition of Alamogordo Town News on Crazy Radio. I'm Anthony Lucero.